Welcome back to Lunch Guide. I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. Today we're going to be making a warm sausage pasta salad. Now, if you're not familiar with that whole combination, it's just whatever leftovers you'll have at home. If you have some pasta that's left over, you could definitely use that in the salad that we're going to make today. Again, we're just bringing it something different, a bit of a fresh spin on it. So I have my water here that's already boiling. But to start off with, we're going to go with the ingredients and I'm going to walk you through what we're going to start with. So for the sausages, I'm using just normal spicy pork sausages. Now you could use beef, you could use bowls, whatever kind of sausages you want, go ahead and use that. You could also use frankfurters, those are the ones that you use for hot dogs. So to start off with, we're using some garlic, some sugar. Now the sugar might come in handy or it might not. I just like to have it there just in case I need to use it. And then I'm using some balsamic vinegar, some salt and some pepper, some oregano, some dry Parmesan cheese. And then this is my pasta. I'm using the small little spiral pasta, which is known as fusilli pasta. And then I'm using some olives here. And then the vegetables we have for today, I'm using capsicums. You know I love my capsicums because they give it a nice, sweet, fresh taste. And then I'm using some cucumbers as well, some tomatoes, onions, sausages I mentioned, and of course one of my favorite herbs, parsley, and olive oil. So to start off with, we're going to add a bit of oil into our water. Now I'm just adding some water here so that it can come to a boiling point, as well as some oil into the pan for my sausages. And then we're going to actually add a bit of some salt. And it's just to season your water. Anytime you're making pasta, always make sure that you've seasoned your water because the pasta is going to take on the flavor and the taste. As you know, pasta is bland, as is other dishes like rice. So anything that has that whole bland sort of feel going on to it, you want to always make sure you season it. So we're going to add our water here. So I've just added some salt and some olive oil. And the olive oil just helps your pasta not stick together. And I've mentioned we're making a warm sausage pasta salad. So we're going to put our pasta here aside as I wait for my water to come to a boil. In the meantime, I'm going to swirl the oil in my pan and then add my sausages. I said I'm using pork sausages, but you could definitely use beef or whatever sausages you have with you. We're just going to let that, and always start on low heat for your sausages so they can cook on nicely and have a nice golden brown color. That's what I like to do with my sausages. And then I usually like, as the process goes on, I usually like to add a bit of water, just a little moisture, and then cover them. That's going to allow them to steam and cook all the way through. And they're going to have the nice, beautiful brown color that you want in your sausages. So we're just going to bring the water to a boiling point before we go on a short break. So just make sure that your water is boiling before you add your pasta. And now, like I've mentioned, this is a good dish to add on to anything that's left over. Instead of the pasta, you could actually use rice. So just make it work with whatever leftovers you have in the house. So I'm making this as a fresh dish just to give you guys the idea. And like I've mentioned, it's a spin on whatever vegetables you might have that are left over that you'd like to utilize but you're not so sure what to do. This is a good idea and a good example of what to do. So once your water comes to a boiling point, you want to add your pasta. Now for the pasta, you could use any kind of pasta you like. You could use the penne pasta. I'm using fusilli pasta. You could also use spaghetti pasta as well. So just use whatever pasta you'd like to use. So we're going to cover that and let it boil. And usually when you're making pasta, just make your pasta as to the packet instructions. So that could be anything from just going to turn this. As I say, it's always good to ensure that you're looking at everything that you're making in the kitchen so that you don't end up burning one item. So that's good. So once this comes to a boil, like I was saying, I just like to keep an eye on it. So usually take out the lid and then now I'll observe it that way. So when you're making your pasta, follow the packet instructions. It could be anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 minutes, but always taste your pasta. If you're not so sure, I'm always looking for the little crunch in the pasta, so just make sure you taste your pasta. So we're going to go on a short break so that our pasta can come to a boil. It can be almost cooked by the time you guys come back, and our sausages will be nice and golden brown. So we'll go on a short tiny break and I'll see you guys after. Welcome back again to Lunch Guide. I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. Now if you just tuned in, we're making a warm pasta salad. Now I mentioned a warm sausage pasta salad. Now I mentioned earlier that this is an easy dish that you could make with whatever leftovers you have like in the house, the vegetables. You don't have to let them go to waste. So if you're just coming in, we'd started off with our sausages, and I mentioned to always cook your sausages on low heat. As you can see, mine is very low, because you get this nice beautiful brown color, and cook your sausages until they're all the way cooked. I cook my sausages for about 10 to 15 or so minutes on the very low heat. That's how you obtain this nice color where your sausages will not be burnt. And something else I like to do is actually add some, I mentioned that you like to add some steam and then cover it as the sausages are cooking. That ensures the sausages cook all the way around. And by the steam, I mean I add a bit of water usually, just a little bit like that. That creates steam. And then your sausages continue cooking. And that's just the style I always cook my sausages in. So I'm just going to let those finish off. My pasta by now should be ready. As I mentioned, I'm looking for an al dente sort of texture, which is what we chefs just call the term. I'm just going to swirl this around and then put off my heat. And the steam is just going to continue cooking our sausages. As you can see, like I mentioned, they're nice and golden brown. Beautiful. I have those proud moments when you make food and it just turns out just right. So back to our pasta. Our pasta is nice and cooked, and most times you can tell the pasta when it's cooked because it turns from the yellow color that it was earlier to actually sort of like a pale white yellow color, which is what you can see here. And like I mentioned, I don't like my pasta to be all the way overcooked. That's a bit hot. I'm not trying to burn myself. So I usually like to give it a taste. And that to me is cooked. I like my pasta with a bit of a bite, which is how you want your pasta. You don't always want it to be mushy. If you overcook it, that's what happens. It will become mushy. So I'm just putting my bowl here so that I can drain my pasta. And then once I've drained it, I'm going to put my pasta in there. So we're going to go ahead and get our pasta that I've mentioned. The chef term for this is al dente, but it just means to have a nice bite, a nice crunch to it. So get your colander, and then we're just going to sieve this. And then sometimes I like to retain some of the water from the pasta, just in case your pasta starts to dry out. You can always use some of the water. So this is not always a must, it's just something I like to do personally. It might come in handy. Then now strain out all the water. So once you've strained out all the water, this is what you're left with. Your pasta is nice and vibrant. Then we're just going to toss it in there. Like I mentioned, we're making a warm pasta salad. We're making a warm pasta salad. So once that's done, I'm going to get my sausages and I'm going to start slicing this. Now these are going to be a bit hot, so I'm going to take them out just so that they can cool. And place them on a plate so they can start to cool. I love the smell of sausages. I feel like the aroma is all over the kitchen. I mentioned I'm using spicy sausages, spicy pork sausages, but you could definitely use any kind of sausage you want. So in the meantime, we're going to go off. As we wait for this to cool, we're going to go ahead and start on our vegetables. The vegetables, I'm just going to make a little groove in my cucumber. So all I'm doing is just skipping and then cutting it, peeling it. And what that does is just gives it a nice decoration. And then cut off the tip because we don't really need that. And then we're going to cut our salad into our cucumber into half. And then from there, we're going to go ahead now and just slice it. If you want to, you could definitely remove the seeds. For this, I'm not going to. So I'm just going to cut this into slices. And you could cut it whatever style you want to. So add your cucumbers in there. This is a warm salad, like I mentioned, so you don't have to wait for your pasta to cool. You can just add everything together. But if you are actually making a cold salad, you'll actually want to toast your pasta with a bit of olive oil, just so it doesn't stick together. And then get your capsicums. We're going to just slice our capsicums, whichever way you'd like. So I'm just going to slice this. And I'm trying to keep the cut a little even, because some places will be a bit long. So that's usually how I like to trim my capsicums, so that you don't have other parts that are way too long and others way too short. So I kind of rotate my knife as I go. And if I see an area is like too long, then I'll rotate it again. So we're adding all our colored capsicums here, green, red, yellow. It's a colorful party. We're having a party with our salads. So this is a simple, warm pasta salad. Now you could definitely do this with rice if you wanted to. You could use the same concept, just add rice instead of the pasta. You could also do this with other grains like quinoa, if you're familiar with quinoa, which is actually quite high in protein. You could use that instead of the pasta here. That's what you'd use. So just cut your tomatoes. Whichever style you want to cut your tomatoes here is absolutely fine. And then just add them in. I'm making my salad a bit on the chunky side just because I know the pasta is there and I want everything to be seen. So we're going to go ahead and slice our onions. So for this, I'm giving it a nice slice, a nice thin slice, and then I'm just going to break them down inside the mixture of the other vegetables with the pasta. I'm just separating this just so that every bite you take will have like an onion to it, so you don't have like a very huge chunk of onion in your mouth, especially if you're not a huge fan of onions. So that's good enough. So we're also going to add some herbs because I love my herbs and it just gives your food a nice fresh taste. So just black your herbs. Always make sure they're nice and washed. The herbs I'm using here are parsley. You could use whatever herbs you want. Basil, for example, would be good in this. Some fresh thyme, some fresh oregano. Speaking of oregano, I actually have some dry oregano, which I'm going to use as well. So whatever herbs you have, to your preference, go ahead and make use of those. So just give those a rough chop. And then we're just going to go ahead and add them to our salad. So everything is pretty simple, just your sausages are being cooked and then you're adding a whole lot of vegetables, whatever vegetables you'd want. You could even go ahead and even toss your vegetables a little bit if you don't want them to be very crunchy. Like I mentioned, it is a warm salad, so you could definitely go ahead and pre-cook your vegetables. I'm going to add a bit of garlic just because I love my garlic. And for this, I'm going to actually chop it really fine. You could grate this if you don't want the taste, but I don't mind a little garlic every now and then in my food. I actually love garlic a lot. So for someone who likes garlic, then you can chop it. You'll definitely have the taste from far. But if you're not a huge fan of garlic, then go ahead and grate it or don't even use it. So we're just going to chop. Like I've mentioned, I want to chop this a bit until it's a little bit fine. And a great tip for this, actually, when you're chopping your garlic, if you want it to get to a bit of texture that's a little bit mushy, all you do is actually add some salt to it. And please put in mind that this salt is actually also going to help season your pasta salad as well. And then you go ahead and chop. And all this does is acts as an abrasive to your garlic, and it will help release the juices and the oils, and you'll see that in a minute. So then you want to then crush it and it becomes a paste really easily. So that's just a tip if you don't have a mortar and pestle, or if you're trying to get your garlic to a paste and maybe you don't have like a grater. This is a nice tip. Just chop your garlic. Once it's to a fine chopped consistency, then add some salt, and it's going to help it become a paste. Exactly like that, see? And that's very simple. So then you add it in. So now you have your garlic paste. And then collect everything. I don't want anything to go to waste. Like I mentioned, I do love my garlic. And we're going to go ahead and cut our sausages. But I'm also using some olives. Now if you don't like olives, you can definitely omit using them, but I like olives. They've got this beautiful taste to them. It's kind of like velvety in your mouth, but some people are not huge fans of olives, especially like in Kenya, since we are not brought up eating such food items. They tend to be a bit foreign for us. but I'm just kind of like nudging you, you know, a little bit to just try something a little different. So what I'm using here are actually whole olives. Now you could use pitted olives, they're definitely a lot easier to use. You don't have to do the chopping like I'm doing. You can definitely just skip that whole process and then just add them because they come already with the seed removed. And the seed I'm talking about is what I'm going around trying to remove. This is actually the seed. So that's what you always like want to make sure that isn't there. If you don't want to do the whole process of what I'm doing, cutting through around your olive, then just get one that's pitted. So and the difference is in the supermarket, the ones that's pitted definitely does not have the seed, and the one that says whole has the seed in it, like this one. So once that's done, we're going to place this aside, and then we can add a little more olives because I don't mind olives. I like the taste of them. Like I mentioned, they have this nice, beautiful, velvety texture. And then we're going to go ahead now and slice our sausages. They should be cool enough. And I'm also going to be using some cheese. I'm using Parmesan cheese. Remember I mentioned I'm using Parmesan cheese here. That's what we're going to go ahead and use in a minute. So just sprinkle your olives in there, a good amount, then get your sausages, which are now cool. Always make sure whatever you're handling in the kitchen, it's not too hot for you because then you'll end up burning your hands. We don't want that. I'm going to give this like an angle cut just so that they can look pretty and they can stand out. Now I mentioned I'm using pork sausages. Now you could definitely, oh, this is still hot actually, I can feel the heat. Now you could definitely use other sausages if you wanted to, like beef, bowels, frankfurters. Just work with whatever you like. Like I always say, if you like something, you're more likely to eat it and try it out compared to if you don't like it because I made something, a certain item that you don't like. So always make the recipe work for you because I'm trying to encourage you to cook with me. Yeah, it's going to be a party in here like I mentioned. With the salad we're making, it's nice and colorful. You can already see the colors coming together. Yum. And the smell of the sausage, oh, you can already smell it. Don't mind if I do. I mentioned I'm using spicy sausages. I love spicy sausages because of the flavor they impact. They have a bit of a kick to them. But if you don't want to, you could just use regular sausages. But I just like them because they give this nice peppery sort of taste to them. So add your sausages in there. So our salad has come nice together. We're going to just put this aside. And we're going to go ahead and actually now mix this since we've pretty much chopped everything that was in our salad. We're going to go ahead and just mix it. And I'm going to add a bit of olive oil. This will just help it come together nicely. And also for the pasta, remember the pasta didn't add any olive oil, so it's going to help it not stick together, of course. We're going to add a bit of balsamic vinegar. Now the balsamic vinegar here is just for a little just a little different taste from farm. If you don't have balsamic vinegar, something else you could use that would work just as great is a Worcestershire sauce, or whatever you'd like to call it. That name tends to be so complicated. Yes, so you could use that sauce. I know you know the one I'm talking about. So you could just go out to the supermarket and look for it because it also has kind of like the same similar taste to the balsamic vinegar, which is that kind of like molasses sweet taste. So and then just mix this together. Oh, look at this, the pasta, the color, it's just so beautiful and vibrant. Just makes you want to dig in and eat the food right away. Oh, yum. And then remember, this has not been seasoned with anything else. If you do remember, we only seasoned the water. So you do want to actually season this a little bit with some black pepper. You know I love my black pepper. So get a bit of black pepper and then just season this. Now you could be a bit liberal with this or use it on the lesser side. And then we're going to use a bit of salt. As you know, I like my black pepper, like I mentioned. We're going to use a bit of salt. That should be good enough because nothing else has salt in here. And don't worry about this. We're going to mix this in now nice so that everything can mix well and generous. So you want to make sure that you put enough seasoning because nothing else has seasoning. And pasta does require sometimes a lot of seasoning because it's a very bland dish and it will always take on the flavors of whatever else you season. And then just make sure again to taste everything as you go. I just want to add a bit of olive oil and a bit of balsamic. And then I'm also going to add a bit of oregano, and then that will be it. Like I said, the balsamic just gives it this nice flavor of like molasses, sweet molasses. So we're adding oregano. I put a amount of oregano if you like oregano. If you don't like oregano, you don't have to use it. Now I mentioned you might need to use sugar or not. I don't think I'm going to end up using the sugar because the sugar will just balance out. If you find your food is too acidic, then you'll just sprinkle a bit of sugar and it will just do the trick for you, or a bit of lemon juice. So we're going to give this a taste, and then we're going to go on a short break. And when we come back, we're going to plate our beautiful salad. As you know, I do love to taste the food for you guys because everything is looking nice and vibrant. The food doesn't want to be picked by me though. I'm trying to get a little bit of everything, and it's just getting away from me. So anyway. The balsamic in that really brings out the taste of the pasta. It takes it to a little top-notch level. But your pasta will just be here. It just elevates it. You're like, what's that taste? What's that taste, you know? The balsamic vinegar, that's what it will do to the food. Just elevate it without it being too pungent. Just a little bit, because it is something that's quite strong. So just something on the little notch for you guys. So we're going to go on a little break. And when we come back, we're going to plate our beautiful salad. So see you after the break. Welcome back to Lunch Guide. I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. And if you just tuned in, we're actually making a warm pasta sausage salad. It's very nice and colorful. If you can see, we've got all the colors going on in here. We've got some pasta, we've got some sausages. I mentioned you could use whatever sausages you'd like to use. We've got also some capsicum, some onions, some olives. So I kind of just went all out with whatever vegetables I had, incorporated them. We've got some tomatoes as well. So you could do that at home. It is a nice simple salad you could do for any leftover vegetables you have. For example, if you didn't even want to use capsicums, you could use something like a courgette if you wanted to, or an eggplant. You just have to cook those off a little bit. I mentioned you could cook your capsicums or your onions, but if you don't want to, you can have them raw, because I'm having mine raw. The only thing I've cooked here is just the sausages and the pasta. So that's our nice colorful salad for today. It's very nice and light and colorful. Like I said, you eat with your eyes, so you always want to make sure that whatever you're eating is something you'd enjoy eating. Don't just make it for the sake of making it, because then you won't enjoy it. And the whole point is for you to enjoy your meal. So we're going to plate our food. And earlier I had mentioned I like to save a little bit of pasta water. Now, of course, my pasta is not dry, but if it was, you'd actually just end up adding a bit of pasta water in case you found your pasta to be a bit too dry. So that's just a nice tip for you. Anytime you're making pasta, always try and save some of the water, because you never know, it might come in handy. So we're just plating our pasta here. Oh, it looks so beautiful. I don't know if you guys are feeling as hungry as I am. It's just looking decadent. Oh, all the colors are coming together. It's looking nice and colorful. It's just like, ooh, eat me, but yeah, I think that's what it's saying. Now, like I said, I have those moments when you make food and you're just really like pleased with whatever you've made, because it just looks so good, and you're sure like everyone is just wishing to try it. That's how I feel about my food sometimes. I'm like, ooh, I think you guys are dying to try this. No, it could just be me. I don't know. After all, it is my food, so I have to be like all about it. So I'm just trying to make sure that every corner has all the colors and you can see them from each and every angle. I think that's pretty good. So we're going to just go ahead and this here so that you can see all the colors going on. And then what I like to do is actually just add a bit of parsley. Now I mentioned I like my parsley, and of course I do have my Parmesan cheese. The Parmesan cheese, we're just going to top this off at the end. If you don't like Parmesan cheese, you could use something like cheddar cheese or whatever cheese you'd like to use. You could also crumble in some feta cheese. That would be a good option actually. So you could also have this salad cold. As much as I'm saying it's a warm sausage pasta salad, you could actually have it cold if you wanted to. You'll just have to make sure that you cool off your pasta and your sausages before you mix them in. So we're just going to go ahead and add our little parsley, and then we're also going to go ahead and add the cheese. I've mentioned here I'm using mozzarella cheese, and this is just dry mozzarella cheese. And mozzarella cheese has got this nice salty flavor to it, and this is just store-bought, which is why it's quite dry. It has this whole texture about it going on. Kind of looks like powder, but it's not really powder. Kind of looks like dry milk actually, yeah. You know, like the powdered milk? Yes. It could be easily confused for that, come to think about it. So that's good enough, and this is just going to give your food a nice bite crunch to it from far, and a nice creamy, again velvety sort of like texture. The crunch is going to be from all your vegetables, and of course the creaminess is going to be from all the Parmesan cheese we've used. So I'm just topping it to the brim. I don't want anything to go to waste. So this is looking pretty good. Let's just clear off our mat there. So that's our salad for today, guys. So it's just something really light and simple that you could do at home. Like I said, if you're looking to have this as a leftover meal, you could definitely do that. Use rice or whatever grain you have at home. Just make it work for you. Make whatever you have work for you. It shouldn't be an excuse for you not to cook the meal. It's something really simple, light, fresh. Everything was fresh, yes. But if it's a leftover dish, it might not be so fresh at the time. But once you add all these other vegetables to it, then just cook. It ups it up and gives it a new vibrant look and all that good stuff. So that's it, guys. So today we made a warm pasta sausage salad, which I hope you really enjoyed cooking with me. I know I'm always happy to be here tuning in with you guys and showing you all these nice, simple, easy meals that you guys can cook at home. I'm your host and chef, Sheena Amario. This has been Lunch Guide. Remember to follow us on social media, Brand Plus TV. But until next time, see you then. Bye.